Welcome, and thank you for joining us at the 2015-2016 Champions of Wayne First Semester Awards Banquet. My name is Sean Gower. This is my 5th year as the Executive Director of the program. I've been to a lot of these banquets, actually. This is number 9 for me. Some of you might be kind of new to these. I can say with great certainty, this is the biggest banquet that we've had. You can applaud that. So we have 174 successful students for this semester, which is very impressive. And it's even more impressive though, because about 3 years ago we had a somewhat large banquet, and I decided to get very, very tough on the goals and make them more challenging. And this is how you've all responded to that. And I would also like to introduce the Vice Chair of the Champions of Wayne Board of Directors, Mr. Kerry Walker.
Thanks, Sean. I think I just got a promotion. On behalf of the Board of Directors of the Champions of Wayne, I want to congratulate all the students that are here tonight. Give yourselves a big round of applause. We don't take it for granted. Parents and the mentors who've been working with you throughout the year, congratulations. I just wanted to say a couple of words. The program got started by Bill Gray, a school psychologist, several years ago, but it was Richard Helpe who really provided the funding and the source of support to bring this to a larger scale, to the scale that you're seeing here tonight. And one of the things that Rich did was he wanted to put an organization behind the effort so that it would live on in perpetuity, or for at least as long as we could make it live on. And so you need organizations to do that, and I give Rich a lot of credit for putting the organization together and trying to build a nonprofit to support the work here at Wayne Memorial High. So on behalf of all of us on the Board of Directors, congratulations. We're working hard to keep this program solid, steady, and growing and healthy into the future. So good luck to you all. Thank you.
All right, so we do want to hear our 4 champion stories from our 3 current students and our 1 former student, and then we will get to dinner. The first student that I want to introduce has been on this stage before, and he's a sharp guy, and he keeps on getting better, and I keep on setting his goal higher and higher, and he just keeps on achieving it. So I thought we might want to hear from him again. And so, ladies and gentlemen, round of applause, please, for Mr. Anthony Namo.
The first speech I gave was in 10th grade. I talked about my freshman year, in which I failed 9 classes. I got a 0.0 GPA. The year I gave the speech, I achieved a 3.1 because of the Champions program. Now I got a 3.6 one of the marking grades this year so far. Throughout my high school career, I've learned many lessons, and I found some to be more important and useful than others. The three main ones that I've learned were: don't give up, do it for you, and to use negative people as motivation. Ultimately, the one thing that can stand in the way of you and success is yourself. If you don't give 100% effort, feel like something can't be done, or you give up, you will never have a fighting chance. When it comes to success in life, your biggest enemy is you. Life will always throw things at you, try to knock you down, and negative people will always try and drag you down. That's a pattern. Getting back up, giving everything you've got, that makes success attainable. This is one thing that I've learned the hard way. I have given up, I have been hopeless, and I have thought that I was beyond saving. Gaining people that cared about me enough to make sure that I cared about my future changed everything. I moved in with my aunt and uncle, who have helped me so much, and I joined the Champions program. This gave me what I needed to succeed, which was people who were pushing me to better myself. My outlook on life and school improved so much. Giving up is no longer an option. It doesn't matter what life throws at me at this point. I'm ready for it.
All right, our next student, I've known since he was in the 6th grade. He's come a long way, and he's currently a senior at Wayne. Round of applause, please, for Mr. Damani Travis.
When I was in elementary school, I tested high for my age, but I acted out very often because my dad, whom I had only been able to visit occasionally, had moved to Japan. I was very young at the time, so I had grown attached to him over the very few visits I had. So when he left, it really hurt me. And as I look back upon it, the school staff noticed a change in me, but had a hard time figuring out why I was acting out. They were unaware of my situation, and they tried to help with special classes and medication. Later on, in middle school, many of my peers were largely unconcerned with school, and they felt that it didn't matter. I began to coast through school because it seemed like it was fairly irrelevant at the time. The idea of not trying and doing just enough to pass was something that began to embed itself within my mind. Luckily for me, in my freshman year, the Champions program had picked everyone in one of my classes, and they helped me get back on track. I, just like many of the kids here, had found an incentive to try in school, and it had worked wonders. I quickly established a positive relationship with Mr. Gray, and he pushed me to set a 3.2 GPA goal, which was something that was higher than anything I'd ever achieved at the time. Because of that, I decided to give more effort than I had given before. And wouldn't you know that maximum effort led to a 3.5 my first semester of high school. It gave me the opportunity to find intrinsic value in school, and I began to enjoy it. I began to take accelerated classes the following year, and the year after that I began taking advanced placement classes. I now have a 3.8 overall GPA and I scored a 30 on my ACT.
Our next student, if you were to Google image the word friendly and bubbly, you would probably find an image of her. I've known her for a couple of years. I can't quite even recall how I met her, but she's just always kind of smiling and friendly in the hallways. She's a great kid. That's all I'll say. Round of applause, please, for Alyssa Carazawa.
Thanks to the Champions program, I've connected with my mentor, Mr. Dagnam, who constantly reminds me to do my best and to be myself. I signed up for Champions because I wanted to be pushed. I'm often told that I have a lot of potential, but I struggle to stay focused. In middle school and last year in 9th grade, I kind of skated through and was uninspired, and I didn't care. I realized this year that my sisters look up to me and I need to set the example. I was surprised when my champion goal was set to a 3.8. I asked myself, can I really do this? And then I realized this is one aspect of my life that I can control. My goals for the rest of high school is to get straight A's and to continue with French and Spanish, and to set an example for my sisters and friends. After high school, I will go to college at the University of Alabama or Louisiana State. I would like to go to college to become an interpreter and a journalist. I want to be the first in my family to go to college and be a role model for my sisters. Thanks to Mr. Helpy and Mr. Stiers for making this possible, Mr. Bill Gray, who gave me a brighter outlook on life, my mother Alyssa, who has been my mother and father my whole life, for being my superwoman, and lastly my grandma and papa for being the backbone of our family and the ones with the best advice.
All right, looks like we are just about ready to eat here. I do have one more man that I would like to hear from. He is a man now. He was part of Champions Away back in the early days, and he has recently graduated from college. I'm not going to tell any more of his story because he's got a pretty nice one. One more round of applause for Mr. Jared Smart, please.
Challenges make the person, and it's how we see obstacles that develop our attitude towards life. I could have easily given up, not graduate high school, get an hourly job, and not reach my full potential. But thankfully, that wasn't the path I took, largely because of the Champion program. And because of the Champion program, my path was, and life was changed in the most positive way. As a 9th grader, I never thought of life after high school, attending college, or the adult world. But within my time at Wayne Memorial, that quickly changed. And after high school, I attended Central Michigan University, was a proud member of the Chippewa Marching Band, fire up, and excelled academically. My undergrad success is a direct result of the no-excuse structure of the Champion program. And while attending college wasn't something I thought of as a student from the city of Wayne, I quickly realized that outside the artificial borders of Wayne Westland, there were opportunities beyond imaginable. I'm one of the lucky ones who is able to experience these opportunities because of a mentor who took the time and the responsibility to harness and develop what I didn't see in myself. There was no stipend, no perk, it was instinct. I learned that my mentor and I shared many of the same challenges growing up, and because of her dedication to me, we now share a positive experience with each other, both having been a marching chip, obviously from different years. And just as I am proof to you tonight that you can rise above any situation, she was that for me. She taught me more than just the daily lessons in 9th grade English. On a daily basis, she showed the strength, courage, and drive to inspire students. One of the most important lessons that she taught me was that you can do one of two things. Let your situation define you, or be the one who defines your situation. And I guess you can say I never really noticed the impact that this person had in my life until recently, when I graduated with my bachelor's degree. So, thank you.
We're going to get to the checks in just a minute. We do have some very generous donors with us that are both graduates of Wayne and have gone on to be very successful in their professional lives. So the first man that I would like to introduce is from the class of 1984. He's a fantastic public speaker. His name is Mr. Jeff Stires.
And this particular evening, after I was done speaking, a young man approached me and he said, "Mr. Siders, I wrote down all the ingredients you gave to be successful, but I'm just curious, which one of those do you think is most important?" And I said without hesitation, imagination. Imagination, which I define by not seeing the world as it is, but seeing it as you want it to be. And as I thought about spending time with you tonight, I wondered, how vivid and powerful is your imagination? Your imagination needs to serve as your own vision statement, a beacon for your dreams and a compass for the direction in which you're going to travel. Without it, you're going to drift along life. And I'll also tell you that as you strive for achievement, never have I seen anyone set their vision for somewhere in the middle and stumble to a higher level. It just doesn't happen that way. You need to be courageous in your imagination and demand more for yourself. Because destiny is not a matter of chance, it's a matter of choice. Earl Nightingale, who is someone who I've studied a lot, who's a respected author and speaker, said that the strangest secret of success is that you become what you think about. I would move one step further and say you become what you can envision. And for that reason, you need to be bold in your imagination. And when you look to the future, do so through a lens of what's possible and not your own current reality. So be audaciously bold in your imagination as you move forward, using the only guideline is what you desire, and then be very resolute about its pursuit. Know that all great accomplishments are always the result of imagination translated to action. And with that, I wish you the best of luck and Godspeed. Thank you.
Jeff Stires is a tough act to follow, but this man's worthy of it. 1974 graduate, Mr. Richard Helby.
What we do not only changes individual lives, like you've heard, but I'm sure you've heard that it's changed the culture in the school from one of failure is okay to one of striving for success. And the recurrent theme I heard tonight from all the speakers and from Jeff, it's choose. You have a choice to make. And all of you students, your life's ahead of you. You can't even imagine what might transpire. The jobs that you're going to work haven't even been invented yet. The industries haven't been invented yet. I would like to say that the computers that I was trained to program on at Wayne Memorial a long time ago were huge, but they were slower and less capable of the computing power than the smartphone in my pocket. And I will guarantee you there's no way I don't believe anybody else could have imagined that. And so the world that you're going into is going to be about biotech. It is going to be about new sources of energy that we've never thought about. It's going to be about communication and transportation forms that would only be in a science fiction movie. And your choice is this. Are you going to be a participant in creating that future and being part of it? Or are you going to be someone that sits back and longs for the past and say things aren't fair, I can't, it's not worth the effort? That's your choice. Do you want to get in the game, or do you want to have the game dictated to you? I always take notes because it helps me stop talking. So things I heard today. All right, so Anthony says a number of things. We said, don't give up. Do it for you. Use negative people as a motivator. I said, well, Anthony, he's described as a Finnish word that Superintendent Harmala knows and my sister knows, called sisu. It's a Finnish word that there's no direct translation, but it means you never quit, you never give up, you never complain, you just keep going. All right, we heard him say, be proud of yourself, surround yourself with positive people. Now, I've heard a lot of great speakers in my life. There's a fellow, Augie Nieto, who was the inventor of all the life cycle equipment. And his theme in life was, be careful who you put in the front row of your life. And I heard that, and I said, Andy's figured this out, and he's a high school kid. Okay? And Augie, you can look him up. He's been a spokesman for Lou Gehrig's disease, which he struck down with. I heard Damani said, look, school didn't matter. I was coasting just enough, but I made the choice. Alyssa said I was going to choose to stay positive. All right? And Jared said, no excuses. And he said there's a choice. Let your situation define you, or you can define your situation. And I'm just thrilled that you've learned this, particularly in a culture that's often telling you the game's rigged, it's too hard. Nobody comes from humble beginnings and achieves anything. You're being discriminated against because of your race, or your gender, or your age, or your place of birth. And you can choose to give into that, or you can choose to strive and make a future for yourself. And along the way, you're going to have some wins and you're going to have some losses. Right? And you all know the baseball statistics. Great hitters fail 7 out of 10 times. Home run hitters strike out a lot. And I can tell you this by having had some experience in business. It's not always the go-go times. It's not always the wins. It's when that market just beats you to a pulp. You were wrong about something. You didn't return your investors' money. All right? But it's what you learn, and can you pick yourself up and make that choice to get back in the game. And so I was like, what's the formula for success? And there's no absolute formula for success at all. But there is a formula for a chance of success. And that goes like this. It's your talent, and everybody has some kind of talent. So discover what your talent is, multiplied by your effort. Okay, it's a multiplication. The most talented person in the world that doesn't work hard doesn't achieve much. All right? But a little bit of talent with a lot of hard work can lead to something. So it's talent times effort plus luck. Because no matter how hard you work and how talented you are, you got to get some breaks. And a lot of times those breaks are the people around you. And what I look forward to is at some point in the future, one of you students is going to be doing what Jeff Stiers and I do. You're going to go on to achieve something magnificent, and you're going to give back. And you can look at the back of this. Look what's growing here at Wayne. Look at this list of donors on the back. People care about you, and they're willing to support it.